And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, Tom Vasel here. Today we're taking a look at Flip City Wilderness. Now, Flip City Wilderness is a standalone expansion to the original Flip City. So, if you've never heard of Flip City before, don't worry about it. I'm about to show you how to play the game. But the two games can be combined together. There's rules in the rules that show you take some cards out, put other cards in. Here's how you play the game. Now this game comes with 5 different cards. Each of these cards has 2 sides. We have a trailer park, which turns into a country resort, a logging site, which can be an archaeological site, a farmer's market, which could be an interchange, a camping grounds, which could be a water reservoir, and a wind farm, which could be an airport. 4 of these cards are put out here in piles, and then players are going to have a deck formed of cards. So you're going to have trailer parks, a logging site, etc., in your deck, and you're going to shuffle this deck. Got to be careful, it's 2-sided, but you're going to shuffle it face up, and you're going to put it in front of you. Now, on your turn, you can play cards from the top of your deck. When you play cards, you're going to be looking down here. This one gives me a victory point. If on my turn I can play cards that give me 8 victory points, I win the game. Well, it's not going to happen on turn 1, so I play this card, 1 victory point, but that pretty much means nothing. Then I can play this one here, which gives me 2 coins. Great. Now, the trailer park says that when this shows up at the top of the deck, I have to play it. Okay, well, it is what it is, but it gives me a coin, but it also gives me an unhappy face. And then another trailer park, I have to play this. So now I have 2 unhappy faces. I have 2, 3, 4 money and 2 unhappy faces. I have to be careful because if I get 3 unhappy faces, I kind of bust. I don't get to do anything this turn. This logging site is going to give me 1, and so I decide to play it. Okay, so now I have 5. If I play this country resort, it will give me a 3rd unhappy face. And I have to be careful every time I play a card because if a trailer park had come to the top, I would have had to play it, and then I would have busted. All my cards would be discarded. My turn is over. I didn't bust though, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coins to spend. There are 3 things you can do with your money. You can buy a card. So you can see that a logging site costs 2, farmer's market 3, camping grounds 4, wind farm 5. So I say, all right, I'll buy another wind farm, stick it in my deck, discard all my cards, and go on. Another thing you can do is if you have a card in your discard pile, you can pay the upgrade cost of it. This one here costs 1 to upgrade, and then you'd upgrade it and have the upgraded version in your deck. You can also combine those 2 actions. If I had 7 gold, for example, I could buy a farmer's market and immediately upgrade it for 4 into an interchange. So that's basically how the game works. You're going to be trying to get 8 victory points in front of you. What do the different cards do? Trailer parks are bad. You start with these in your deck. You can't get more of them, but you can pay 1 to upgrade them to a country resort, which is slightly better. Because this one doesn't force you to play it, and you can upgrade this one for 9 to stick in someone else's deck as a trailer park. A logging site has a recycle symbol on it. This means when it's in your discard pile, you can recycle it for 3, which gives you 3. That's great. So you get 4 total. You get 3 if you play it from your discard pile. But when you do that, you flip it over to the archaeological site, which gives you unhappiness and 1. But you can upgrade this back to the logging site again if you pay 2. This one also lets you spend 20 to get 3 victory points if you so desire. The farmer's market gives you an unhappy face but gives you 2 coins. When you buy it, you can remove a card you played this turn from the game. Trailer park. And if you turn it into an interchange, you can recycle it for 2 back into a farmer's market. And you must leave this card in your discard pile when you shuffle. So there's that. Camping ground. This one here gives you 1 victory point, so you need 8 of these to win the game. When you buy it, you get +1 to your unhappiness limit each next turn. So you would take one of these, and when you play a card with an unhappy symbol on it, you would put this on top of it to show that that was canceled next turn. And if you upgrade it to the water reservoir, you'll see that this one is worth 3 victory points. And then you get you can upgrade this for 3. You have 3 money that you can only use for upgrading actions. You can also, if these are in your discard pile, you can recycle these to give you +1 to your unhappiness limit for the next turn. And finally, the wind farm, which gives you 2. And when you buy it, you can flip once during this building for +2. And if you upgrade it to an airport, it gives you 2 victory points. And whenever you play this, you can pick any card in the discard pile and shuffle it into that player's deck. So, I mean, pick it from anyone's discard pile. So it could be from your discard pile. It could be from someone else's discard pile. And that's it. You're going to keep playing till you get 8 victory points, likely done through water reservoirs and airports. So if I played both of these in the same turn, that's 5 victory points. If I manage to play 2 water reservoirs and an airport in the same turn, I've just won the game. Now, Flip City was a game that I really enjoyed. I really liked the way that the cards flip, the fact that you use them both sides. Now, there's some slight confusion on that possibly. The rules even say if you drop the cards for whatever reason, you got to put them on the side, the side that's the original side. So you don't want to drop the cards, okay? And sometimes you might get confused, but you're not really holding the cards. You're just kind of sliding them off top of your deck. So it's really not that big of a deal. Now, this game is going to be compared to the original Flip City. And this is where I feel on Flip City Wilderness. As an expansion, it's okay. There's some interesting cards move in. As a standalone game, I do not like it. The original Flip City had 2 victory conditions. One was victory points, just like this one, and the other was playing a whole bunch of cards in front of yourself. I think it was 20 cards that you would play, and which sounds really hard and difficult, but it was very possible to do. And it had 2 victory conditions. They took away one of the victory conditions here. It's just the victory points. And there's a lot of interesting things about the game. I like the recycling ability. I like, with cards you discard pile. I like that whole push your luck aspect to this game as you put cards out in front of you. But where this game, this one in particular, falls apart for me is there's no tension, there's no interest in this. I want games that I'm like, ooh, what can I buy next? And I never feel that. A deck building game should be like, ooh, what can I buy? Here it's like, I guess I'll buy another one of these. I guess I'll buy this. None of the cards are particularly exciting. I think the coolest card is the Wind Farm because it gives you 2. And you can upgrade it to the airport, which gives you 2 victory points. But the rest of the cards, like the camping ground, which is worth 1 victory point. Well, big deal. It can turn into a water reservoir, which is worth 3 victory points, but that's pretty expensive. So for most of the game, the camping ground is not that big of a deal. You don't really want them in your deck. Farmer's Market, it's good when you buy it because you can get rid of a card out of the game. Yay, get rid of this. But then it gives you a frowny face and 2. It's not that exciting. You can upgrade it to an interchange, which will then be immediately used to flip it back over to turn into a farmer's market again. And then the logging site, that's 1. And then you can get another 3 from it later on, which turns into an archaeological site where you can pay 20 for victory points, which is an okay thing. It's possible to do. But like I said, there's no card there like, ooh, I have enough money, I can finally buy this. And because of the way the costs are on these different cards, or many times you'll have a certain amount, you can only do one thing on your turn. You'll have a certain amount and you'll be like, well, I guess I'll get this. I guess I'll upgrade this. It just doesn't have the same fun that the original Flip City had, which had more interesting cards, in my opinion. Now, if you can mix some of these cards in and out with the original game, that's not a bad idea, right? Mixing them in and out, okay, great. Now we got more options. That was the whole point that I wanted with Flip City. Flip City originally came out. They came out with a mini expansion, I think, with 2 new kinds of cards. So now if I look at this as an expansion, I'd be like, sure, yeah, I'll use a couple of these cards. Maybe use the trailer parks instead of the original cards from the base game. That's fine. There's some changing there. But as a standalone game, this one really fell flat. With each group that I played it with, about halfway through, everyone was like, when does this game ramp up? When does it start getting interesting? And it doesn't. Eventually, someone's going to score the 8 points and win. But with the original Flip City having the 8 points or the 20 cards and just it was fast and quick, this one doesn't feel fast. It feels sluggish and just not that interesting. So Flip City is a great idea. And I would not be opposed to people getting this as to get some more cards that they can put in and out of their decks. Setups for Flip City, which gives it more variety. But as a standalone game, get the original. Dice Tower Judgment just lacks zing.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.
Yeah?